If you are anything like me and are thinking it's only 11 o'clock, seems like it's midnight already. Holy cow, you have a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Appreciate you hanging out with us. A couple things we got today. It was a whale of an Olympics. Oh, you see what I did there? There's a dang whale at this surfing competition. We're going to get to that in a moment as well. And yesterday on Russell and Hunter, we covered the RFK Jr. Story about the bear. So we're going to dig into that because I was asked by a few of y'all that I would be able to share that on this show and kind of speak in a different context than we normally do. So we're going to cover that a little bit later as well. So thank you for hanging out. It's been just an absolutely wild and interesting morning for me. So I'm here. I'm present. I got y'all. I've named my first rodeo. Woo! Let me tell you that. Okay, so let's jump all into this. Let's get all up in this business right here. It was interesting to me that there was a did I really put that on? In doggone it, I think I did. I think I did. I put that on. I think I put that on the Bromance. Oh well, hey, we're on the Bromance, I guess. Sorry. I did put that on there. Yes, yes, indeed, I did. With just kind of me and technology, guys. I appreciate it, but I'll let Rob know I did. Oops, my bad on that. Anyway, it's always funny to me how garbagey Shark Week got on Discovery. I know I'm on the Brewmaster, Rhonda. I hit the wrong button, and we get an option when we go into our streaming service to push a lot of buttons, and I pushed one too many. I guess I just pushed that Brewmaster as I was gliding by there. So all right. Well, here I am, Rhonda. Thank you for being here. It's funny that we talk about all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state that we live in, and that's my side, not really side project, but it's my other project as well. Is the Go Show. So, Rhonda, I'm glad you found us. If you like hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, biking, all of that kind of stuff, and celebrating the outdoors, come on and celebrate the outdoors with us if you'd like. So, yes, but I appreciate you. Appreciate you being around. Appreciate you being there on the tube. Anyway, back to Shark Week. Shark Week, Discovery Channel absolutely was the coolest thing on the planet. And then they went all weird and in skits and in celebrities and just absolutely something horrible. It just become terrible. And I think that news media, for the most part, did that. And I'll address Rhonda a few times on the show. This is the first time here. We'll talk about camping if you'd like as well. We do talk about that quite often. But I think news media gone the same way. Like if you look at the Today Show used to be with what's her name, Jane Pauley and Greg Gumbel, which one of the Gumbel brothers. It was news, and they would do a few interviews, and it was news. And now it's like, hey, what's Al got on? What kind of color socks does Al Roker have on today? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And then I see what happened at the Olympics, and NBC, of course, toasted the Olympics as well. Same thing they do with the damn Today Show. So they Today showed the Olympics, and this was it. All over NBC social media, all over NBC everything, replay after replay on the Today Show this morning, and over this just very outdoorsy surfing event.
193 for opening of Hennessy as well, so more of a display.
Oh, and there's a whale.
That's incredible.
That's 10 right there.
Incredible.
That's a
perfect 10. It's a perfect 10, and that's all they were saying. That's all they could say about that. A whale was in the damn ocean. I have been in the ocean. Whales breach right in front of me. It's really cool, but it's a shocker. Guess what? They're in the ocean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Winton, appreciate the sub, dude. I like that. Thank you so much. So the whale at the Olympics was the big news of the Olympics. There were so many cooler things that happened at the Olympics, especially in the shooting sports. The guy from Turkey is now a internet sensation, and here a whale pops up in the ocean. And by the way, that's nowhere. They're not in Paris. They're in Tahiti, which is pretty damn cool. So anyway, interesting with a whale. And there are things that are interesting that we have happened to us in the outdoors with whales. I've had a handful of encounters. Two of them, what's up, Chris? Two of them, I'll tell you about real quick. So I was on an offshore fishing trip. I saw a dead whale. And if you don't know this, when they explode, they do. Whales just did one last just explosion. Either it's orally or their stomach pops. You can see videos on YouTube of them, people, cities, towns, pulling dead whales through the beach and through the town to go dispose of it, and it explodes. So that's one. Two, they go belly up, just like any other fish, just like a fish in a fish tank. My eyes were just shocked on this fishing trip to see a dead whale belly up. That's it. That's, I guess it's just a really, really, really big fish that died in your kid's fish tank. Same thing. And then so we're kind of hanging around it, and then we saw all these reef sharks. This was so cool. These reef sharks were just chomping right at the water line, just chomping this thing, just going right to town, cleaning it up, just like the ocean does. Yeah, they figure it out. We don't get to get Coast Guard and anybody out there to clean it up. It's a fish, and the other fish going to eat it when it dies. It was absolutely cool. It was so cool. And we fished around it for a little bit. A couple guys caught some albacore, but I think we missed the whole school going through. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really, really cool. Here's how, by the way, here's how tuna eat. If you're tuna fishing, you'll see that most of the boats will troll. And the reason why they're trolling is because a school of tuna will send one up to the top. Like there will be some kind of, hey guys, did anybody see that? That looks like a good place for food. Let's send Charlie up there. Because it's Charlie. Let's send Charlie up there. Charlie goes up there. If Charlie doesn't come back, the whole school goes up. They're like, yep, Charlie found fish. Let's go. Charlie found some food, found dinner. Get up there. Let's do it. If Charlie comes back, there was nothing there. No deal. So with your trolling, and troll over a school, and they send one up and it bites one of those trolling lures, it doesn't come up. All the other tuna are coming up. Everybody on the boat's jumping out with their live bait and seeing if they can get one as well. So that's what happens there. But so those were my and then the second one, I was out in on a kayak at La Jolla, and it was probably, I would say it's probably 20, 30 yards. It seemed like it was right on top of me. Big old whale reached right in front of me and my sister, and it was just a really, really cool event. But that was it. We're not talking about it for weeks. Oh, a whale. Yeah, whale. It's in the ocean. That's where they are. We saw sharks, saw sea lions. Yeah. So schools will follow in your boat and shadow. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Oof. Jim, they definitely will. Tuna are smart. So are orcas. So I'm going to play that game. If you want to deal with a real whale encounter, it looks like this. Oh, shit. Yeah. Dude, swim, buddy. Woo! Get out of there, dude. Ah! Hey, it's kind of hanging out with you. The guy's like, I want nothing to do with this. I just want to leave. Humpback whale. What is missing in this video? I think what escapes someone in this video is this right here. This part of the scene right here. Okay, there's big smiling whale, and there's dude getting it, just jumping and jumping. But I know that Chris, but he said blanking humpback whale. But what is not okay? So that guy escaped with his life, and that's cool. That's good job, buddy. You weren't really in a ton of danger anyway. I did see a headline on I forgot which site I was on. I saw a headline that said man miraculously escapes nearly being eaten by a humpback whale. How do you escape nearly being eaten by a humpback whale if one is just behind you? You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, one is just swimming around you or it breaches in front of you. That's not it. I mean, that's like standing on a sidewalk of a busy street, an intersection, waiting to cross, and every car that passes you say, I miraculously survived not getting hit by that car. Dang, y'all know me. I hate headlines. I can't handle these headlines. Anyway, here's the great part about this video. Check this out. Because that humpback just took a whole bunch of fish. Look at these little dudes right here. Look at these little guys. Run, buddy, run. Swim. Look at these guys are getting out of his mouth. Like, we out of here. Look, they're gone. They survived. Yeah. That is miraculously surviving, nearly being eaten by a, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that is, well, look at those guys. How lucky are these guys? Whoa, lived to swim another day, boys. We out of here. They have no idea what just happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Center of a bubble feeding group of whales. Oh, my goodness sakes. All right, so Jim says this. Jim, I don't know a little bit more about this, buddy. Being in a kayak, at the center of a bubble feeding group of whales. Now, what's a bubble feeding group? Is that like a boil? Is that what you're talking about? Like the feeder fish come up to the top and it looks like it's boiling? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, that's the coolest thing in the world. But being in the middle of one, no thanks. Have you seen tuna fly? Tuna like orcas. Man, you get a 800-pound tuna, and it's coming about 6-7 feet in the air trying to get things at the top. And if I'm at the top, no, thank you. I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm definitely gonna pass on that. Yeah, I mean, there's things that you put yourself in certain situations where you have to accept a level of risk. Rhonda was talking about she likes camping. Camping, you're still at a certain level of risk because again, you're an eco-tourist. You're out there with other people, with other animals. That's their home. You are a tourist in their town. That's it. So if Mr. Bear wants to come along and see what you guys cooking, the coyotes want to come along and say, what'd y'all just kill? That's their prerogative. It's their house. It's their spot. Check it out online. They make a circle of bubbles and the fish go to the center. Shut the front door. What? So okay, so the whales all come up with mouth open. I bet it's awesome to see. It makes me clench a little just thinking about being in the middle of the damn thing. Knowing a kayak? I love my kayaks. They're secure as hell. But man, I tell you what, this is I don't really want to be at the top of the bubble. It's amazing. All right, Brennan's in there too. Okay. I'm going to look it up and we'll hopefully report back. You know what? Here's what I forgot to report on today. We'll talk about it tomorrow for sure. Thursday. Remember, FAFO Friday is going to be on Olympic fails. Fantastic. But this is I called it an albino elk. It's not called an albino elk. It's called something different. Steve Clark sent it to me. And I got to talk to you about that. Some cool things that he saw up when he's running around. I don't know. He's always doing something. We got to put a bell on him or something, a tracking device, find out where in the world is Steve Clark. Anyway, he sent it to me, and it was really, really cool to see. I will share that with you tomorrow. I did not prep it for videos. It's a lot more difficult now that we're streaming to prep things for streaming. It's just something we haven't been camping in some time. Let's throw you on. Let's get it up here, Ron. Let's talk about that. We haven't camped in a long time. Once we had crows in our camp, licking the tail. Okay. Some cows just lick. I think you said crows. The cows just licking the tail light of our own. They probably had some stuff on it. I don't know. Maybe I had a little kid put some sticky stuff on it. That's it. But it's exciting. We've had everything come. We've had everything. I cannot think of a major animal we haven't really had coming through the camp at some time because I've camped in Nevada, Southern California here, and there's just a plethora of wildlife. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I've had turkey, javelina hold on. I've had javelina tracks. I have not seen one, so I still believe they don't exist. They're mythological creatures. But yeah, always having a critter or two coming through. And one of the big things about that, and I've always preached this is, side of always douse your fire. The second is make sure you're putting your, they sell very big Ziploc bags. Make sure you're putting anything that will smell and give off a scent in Ziploc bags and then throw them in the trash. And then you go from there. Custer State Park. Well, fluffy cows. Grizz had the fluffy cow sighting. Yeah, those are bison for those that have been paying attention. The salt that gets on there. Absolutely. Oh, on the car. Okay. All right. Licking the side of the car like the salt. And speaking of that, don't put a salt lick up there. And I'm talking to you, Becky, who used to have a house up in Strawberry, had a salt lick in the back. No salt licks. Nope. We are anti-salt lick. We are. Wild boars in the tent. Oh, tent site in Germany. I thought it was in the tent in Germany. See, this is why I don't wear my glasses. I should wear my glasses. But let's get to this. And I apologize, Grizz and Rhonda and Lynn, that this is and sorry I had a bad battery there, Lynn. The RFK Jr. story. I do want to dig more into this because we did this on the Bromance, and I thought it was. I did it more politically, it's kind of relatable. He's in Roseanne's kitchen, and Rob was, this wasn't an episode of the Go Show. So I do want to cover that. For those that have not seen this, RFK Jr. running for president, obviously Robert Kennedy's kid, JFK's nephew. And I do want you to understand this. His voice, just so we're very clear, again, this is not a political show. I'll just explain what happens. His voice, there's a disorder that is the muscles around his vocal cords that keep constricting his vocal cords. So when he speaks, he's pushing the words out much more so than we would have to do. So it's tough to listen to. It really is. I'll be honest. I tell it to his face. I think this guy's cool as hell. But his brother, I think his sister has the same condition as well. And we'll not get into whole, Northeast elites inbreeding, but I won't go that far. Anyway, I told you it's not a political show. He's going to talk right away about falconry. I want to jump into that too.
In a group of people falconing up in Goshen, New York, up in the Hudson Valley, and I was supposed to meet them there at maybe.
Yeah, that's the things you do if you're a Kennedy. I went falconing.
8 or 9. I was driving up maybe really early, like 7, and that woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it.
Okay, there you go.
A young bear. So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in.
Typical Kennedy, though, I will get a little political. Typical Kennedy, not. I pulled over to see if the woman was all right. The woman in the car in front of me. You okay? No, I'm just there were no rivers around. So I want to go check the bear, but I do that. I actually I do a check every time I see some roadkill. I really, really do. Your face over his. Dude, Grizz, if you can show me how to do that. Grizz threw this one in there. He said I should do an AI of my face over this. That would actually be fantastic. I might do that. Anyway, falconry, and this is really, really cool for those that even don't like hunting. You don't mind watching the Discovery Channel and seeing other animals hunt, okay? And that's totally cool. I'm not going to judge you on that. So falconry is, I have my falcon, and by the way, there's an apprenticeship thing you have to do. There's laws that you have to, it's crazy having one of these things. But you have one of these falcons, and apparently it knows its target species. If you're hunting rabbit, if you're hunting duck, whatever you are. Duck is the key part. And my buddy Rosie told me all about this because he was on a falcon trip for duck. The falcon takes off, spooks the ducks. The ducks get up in the air. It gets above the ducks and with its talon just goes and just clonks it on the head. It starts spinning around. Falcon cruises back around, grabs it, takes it right to his master. Having duck soup, baby. Let's go. Woohoo! Yeah. Got to check the highways for lunch. But here's the deal. In most states, they have, and going back to the RFK story here, they have salvage tags. So if something gets hit, boom, and it's just, flying, you see it as fresh as it gets, man, pull over, call Game and Fish, and say, I want a salvage tag. They will give you a salvage tag number, and then that's yours. Yours for keepsies. Fantastic. You see somebody hit an elk? I mean, sorry you ruined your car. I hope everybody in the family's okay, but I got a freezer for them now. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's go. Back to RFK Jr. here, doing his thing.
In the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, and it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear.
Yes.
And so then we went hawking, and I had the bear in my car. And then we had a really good day, and we went late.
Your bird had a really good day, dude.
People really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
Okay, you want to go? Go ahead, Peter Luger Steakhouse. Go ahead, and you want to pick up that name he just dropped? Anybody? Yeah, I just want to go ahead and pick. That's so Northeast elite mass holes. Anyway, so this RFK Jr., who I don't think is a mass, and I said mass hole from Massachusetts. He seems like a good dude. So here's where we are now. Mike or RFK Jr. or you go and you see a animal that has been knocked out by a car, killed by a car, and you decide to call for a salvage tag. You get a salvage tag. You put it in the truck. He said he had a van. He put it in the back of the van. He was going to use the hide. He was going to use the meat in his freezer, and everything was going to be good. That is as normal as it gets. But now he gets into a story about going to Peter Luger Steakhouse, realizes he stayed there too long at the event, can't get the bear and his harvest back to his spot, to his place. So he's got to figure, because he's got to go catch a flight. So now what do? And I'm telling you, I've been in this situation before. No, not Peter Luger Steakhouse or anything like that. I haven't been in that kind of a situation. But I've been in a situation where after getting some instruction and some tips on bird hunting and preparation from Uncle Ted Nugent, now you can pick up the name I just dropped, I don't really get in a rush to get the birds processed after bird hunting. I don't. And here's why. Now we'll dive into this story. We'll get back to RFK Jr. So this is a time I had Ted Nugent on this very program. And Ted Nugent said when he goes bird hunting, he does not process the birds for at least a week. And I said, what do you mean? You don't process? I mean, you obviously field dress, you gut the birds, and he goes, no, whole. He says, I'll put them in a brown paper bag and put them in a room temperature room or in the refrigerator, and I won't touch them for a week or two. And I'm thinking, I swear I'm going to get some calls. This is going to be crazy. He would say that there were tribal communities that would bird hunt, and they would nail the bird's foot to a wood post. And when the foot decayed enough and fell, then that was when it was time to process and eat it. And I'm thinking, I am seriously going to put some people in the hospital here. This is not good. Take it easy, Lynn. And so I was quail hunting with the Priest brothers, who are quail hunting Jedi. They just have dogs out there for fun. They know where the birds are. So I'm out there, and Dan was driving me along, and he goes, hey, I heard your Ted Nugent interview, and I decided to try it on my quail. Like, oh, crap. Here we go. Well, what do I owe you? What do I owe you for the ER visit? How long were you out? Do I owe you for lost work? I feel awful. And he goes, I've been eating quail my whole life. That is literally hands down the very best quail I've ever had in my life. He said, it works. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So now I'm not in too much of a hurry at all to process my birds during dove season or quail season. I'm not in a super big hurry. So I'll keep them in the fridge for a couple of days, and I'm like, okay, let's get to cleaning these birds. But I don't have to rush home and do it like I thought I did. And you know what? Then fine, just fine. Everything's been working out. So here he is. RFK Jr. is thinking, I have a bear, a whole entire bear. He said a small one in the back of a van. I can't get to processing it. I can't get it home. What the hell do I do? So this is how he played it.
And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car, because that would have been bad.
Yeah, you think?
So then I thought, at that time.
A Kennedy can't call someone and say, get this to my house. Does no one having issues with that one? I mean, if Mike Russell calls somebody and says, hey, listen, so I think I would be able to. And I'm just me. He's a Kennedy. He can't be like, okay, guys, here's what happened. That's why I think there's so much more to the story, because he couldn't say even the people at the dinner. Obviously, there are people he knew. Obviously, he probably had staff there of some sort, or even the restaurant. Hey, I need you to put this in a freezer. I am too, Grizz. Now I am. It's the third time I've watched this. Now I'm calling it too. So he said, Grizz said he's calling BS. So you couldn't give it to anyone and say, get this to my house. It's not far away. Can you get this to my house? Or can the restaurant, I'm a Kennedy, damn it. Can you put it in the freezer? And he apparently did not. So now he's got to make up some sort of Kennedy-esque excuse. This just absolutely gets fantastic here. I love this.
This was a little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes, and saw a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking with me who thought this was a good idea.
Did he just put that? Even Roseanne's like, what? Ninja, come on. Seriously? Roseanne Barr doesn't believe him. Roseanne Barr's looking at him like, no, okay. Oh, because other people were drinking and they gave you this dumb idea. This is fantastic. Because we've all been to hunt camp and blamed everything on everyone else in that camp except ourselves.
I
Correct.
said, well, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of.
Just happened to have an old bike in his car that somebody asked him to get rid of.
I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike. It'll be funny for people. So everybody thought that's a great idea. So we went and did that, and we thought it would be amusing for whoever found it or something. The next day, it was like, it was on every television station. It was the front page of every paper, and I turned on the TV, and there was like a mile of yellow tape, and there were 20 cop cars. There were helicopters flying over it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And,
how many Kennedys have woke up the next day and said, oh my God, what did I do? How many? Yeah, yes, Jim. Yeah, Teddy Kennedy is. Oh yeah, Teddy.
There was some people on TV in tie-back suits with gloves on lifting up the bike, and they're saying they're going to take this up to Albany to get a fingerprinted. And I was worried because my prints were all over that bike. Luckily, the story died down after a while, and
so did the bear.
And it stayed dead for a decade, and the New Yorker somehow found out about it, and they're going to do a big article on me. And
so that's why he's telling this story with Roseanne to kind of get the kind of the scene out there. Look, I know I'm making some Kennedy jokes here, but that's probably something Mike Russell would come up with. It depends. And I would say this too. I'd say that very same thing, right? I'm gonna say, I wasn't drinking, but everyone else was, and boy, they were egging me on. They thought that was a great idea. We're just gonna go set up a non-biker with a bike that I just happen to have in my car that someone asked me to get rid of. Yeah, no, that doesn't. That as we say in the outdoor world, that dog don't hunt. Nope. Holy mackerel! That is one of the. But there's so many parts to it that I think we as outdoor brethren, as outdoor enthusiasts, would really like to know. And by the way, a bike cannot kill a bear. There are several cartridges of firearms that cannot kill a bear. So yeah, Beargate. That's right. That's what RFK Jr.'s presidential hopes squashed by Beargate. Yeah, but that's why he wanted to, Yeah, but Rhonda, my drunk friends thought it was a good idea. That wasn't. I was almost forced against my will. Yeah, we had to do something with this bear. Holy mackerel, this show is unbearable. I kid. It was a whale of a show. See, I'm going to keep doing it the whole time. Yep, I'm going to keep on doing it. Here's what we're going to do. Of course, Rob and I are kicking it off at noon, but we'll do this right here at the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors, this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's not quite FAFO Friday, but remember, FAFO Friday, Olympic fails. Going to be fantastic. You know which one's starting that show off. All right, everybody.